It's almost Christmas here at the cottage. It's time to do a deep cleaning of the kitchen, scrub, sort, organize, and then it's time to decorate for Christmas. Come join me for some old-fashioned and very simple Christmas kitchen decor ideas. I had not deep cleaned my kitchen for quite some time. My kitchen cupboards were nasty going into this Christmas. Things felt cluttered and unorganized. I had not done my usual fall cleaning. And so one of the things I wanted to do before Christmas came was to wipe down my open shelves, clean things up. I wanted to wipe out my cupboards. I wanted to sort through everything. And so I am learning with a baby that it's best to do things in sections. So everything to the right of the dishwasher, I decided I was going to clean in one morning during her nap time. With open shelving, I find wiping it down about twice a year is a really good rule of thumb to go by. So I barely squeaked in this year with my second cleaning, and it actually doesn't get as dirty as people would think, but it is nice to freshen it up, to scrub away fingerprints or little splatters or little stains that are forming from all the cooking and baking I do in the kitchen. Shelf scrubbed, I then just return all the dishes to them. I don't usually wash the dishes unless it's something like these jars of dry goods that are high up on the shelf and get a little bit of a sticky buildup from just being in the kitchen and in the air where you're cooking all the time. So I like to wipe down my jars. I scrub the lids and the bands to clean them off before I put them back. Otherwise, they get really nasty. So it's a very simple thing I did to help spruce up the kitchen. It's something that needed to be done, and I love how these jars looked. They're clean, they're shiny once again, and I can return them to their original spot. After having dealt with the shelf, I then went to the counter, the backsplash, and also wiping down the face of my kitchen cabinets. Being a from-scratch cook, always gardening, preserving, all that stuff, my cupboards get so bad so fast. These were long overdue for a good scrubbing. You can't see how bad they were in this video, and I'm glad of that because it was a little bit embarrassing. But I did just want to scrub the faces. I love having the inside of my drawers cleaned out every so often. Here's the cutlery drawer. I love to clean out my cutlery holder as well. Lots of little bits of food and dust end up in the bottom of all those little compartments. So here I'm pulling out my silver-plated cutlery and giving the holder a really good scrub just to clean it out. I wish I had some silver plate polish for the cutlery, but I didn't. I actually couldn't find any here in our little town, so I might have to order some in online. I would have loved to have polished everything before Christmas. Didn't happen, and it will be okay. It'll be okay regardless. Like to go through, clean out all my drawers, and then I like to do the same for the cupboards. Often I find things end up in places where it's not efficient use, an efficient spot to keep them in my kitchen, and some of the things that are in my drawers and my cupboards often just, I don't know why they're there. So I like to go through every so often, clear up the clutter, get rid of the unwanted, unnecessary stuff. It's actually amazing how little you need in your kitchen to have it functional. Another thing I love to do when I clean my entire kitchen is to go through and quickly clean out our water filter. You're supposed to do this every 6 to 12 months. I don't always get there, but I do like to clean it. It's also stainless steel, so the outside can get looking dirty very quickly. Here's the corner of the kitchen we just cleaned. It's all ready to go for Christmas decorating. Hey folks, we're taking a break from this video to tell you about my favorite probiotic. Just Thrive creates a probiotic and antioxidant that we love and have used in our home for almost 5 years. This probiotic is a wonderful way to keep your immune system up and strong, especially going into the holiday and the Christmas season. It's one we keep in our home year-round whenever we feel the need for it or anytime we've had to do antibiotics. This is what we fall back on because we've seen wonderful success with it. Just Thrive Probiotic is offering my followers 15% off their first purchase. I will put a link to the website in the description below. Be sure to use the code TRADITIONALHOME to get 15% off your first order of Just Thrive's probiotic. I love this product. I never am like ever without it in our home because it works so well and we've had such amazing results with it. It's one of those must-haves that I keep on hand at all times. All right, folks, back to the video. I kept taking the kitchen piece by piece over the next couple days. Sometimes I would tackle it while baby girl was napping. Sometimes she was in the middle of everything, stalling everything. She's teething, so she's very needy at this time. So it was a bit of a challenge, but I just kept taking bits and pieces wherever I could and working section by section. I'm learning is the way to go with a baby when you are cleaning your kitchen. At least you wrap up one section and it's done and you can move on to the next. You might have to work through the night. Well, not through the night, but at night like I am here. But I wanted to get everything done so that after Christmas, I can vacuum up whatever I need to vacuum up for little bits of leftovers from greenery or whatnot. And then my kitchen will be ready to go for the new year. I scrubbed shelves, I scrubbed backsplashes, I scrubbed the pine paneling, and then I put everything back. I wanted the entire kitchen clean and ready to go before I started decorating as well, so I could just focus on one task at a time. I even tackled my oven. I tackled my stovetop and just did a really deep clean, and it feels so good going into the holidays knowing that everything is taken care of and organized and clean. Some things needed it a little more than others, but I love it. My drawers are organized. I got rid of some stuff. I threw some stuff out. I don't know why it was in my drawers, but it feels very good, and now this space is ready to go. So I grabbed baby girl and we went out and we went to collect some greenery. She loves being outside, this little girl, and so it's so nice for me for any job or task I want to tackle out there. She's all in. And one of my favorite things to use in my home for decor is actually just evergreen boughs. So here I'm getting cedar. We got a bunch of cedar, we got a bunch of hemlock, and we brought it back in. And we didn't actually use it right away. I had a bit of a break. Boughs will keep really well outside in the cold, especially if you have snow like we do. So they sat for 2 or 3 days before I got to them. In the kitchen this year, I didn't want to string fabric or anything over the windows for a curtain. I just wanted to use greenery. So here I have cedar. Cedar doesn't drop needles because it doesn't have needles. It will make a little bit of a mess, but it'll be worth it. And I'm doing this about 7 days before Christmas, so things won't have a chance to really dry out before I get to them. So I hung cedar boughs on my curtain rods, and then I love putting greenery down on shelves and windowsills, and then putting things on top of that. It's a very natural look and it's very subtle, but it really brings a Christmassy vibe, especially if you have a white kitchen like I do here. I just love greenery. I even made some little swags with, I think it was hemlock and little cones. It just was so much fun. I love the simplicity of this. I love that it's not expensive. I go outside, I cut things, I bring them in, and then I use what I already have on hand, whether it's beeswax candles or little dishes or things that I already have on hand. Greenery does wonders. I love using beeswax candles in my kitchen. I love my mason jars. I just love keeping that natural vibe going. I even put cedar boughs under my dessert cake stand, which we put anything I bake, we will pop in here. And my man knows that's where he can go if he needs a treat. And if there's nothing there, there's nothing baked. I so enjoyed this year of keeping things very, very simple in the kitchen. There's nothing special or fancy or glitzy about this. I just dressed it up with little bits of greenery here and there. And again, if you do this right before Christmas, 7 to 10 days before Christmas, things won't really have time to really drop their needles, and so it will all be fine and beautiful when your company arrives. Another thing I did when I was out foraging with baby girl is we have a plant here called autumn olives, and they have these beautiful little red buds all winter long, and so I trimmed some of those. Put them in this little round vase with walnuts in the bottom to hold the branches in place. I have an empty corner in the kitchen that's kind of awkward. I never know what to do with it, with the counter space there. And so I thought I would put this in that space and it could look beautiful and kind of natural there. Again, it's nothing flashy or sparkly, but I just like how it fills things in that subtle sort of way. This Christmas is very, very simple and plain in the kitchen, but I think it's so beautiful. It's amazing what greenery, a few candles, it's amazing what the simple things can do. And it's nothing blingy or flashy, but it just brings a very beautiful country vibe to the kitchen. We are ready. We're ready for guests to come in. We're ready to just kick back and enjoy. My kitchen's organized. It's sorted. I know where everything is. I don't need to be embarrassed about anything if someone is helping out. And we are ready for the new year as well. Everything is ready to go, and I'm ready to take on whatever comes our way.